Hello. My name is Aniruddha, and without any further ado, I am going to jump into this quick, sketchy watercolor demo. As you can see, I already have a fairly basic pencil sketch down on my paper. And before I started applying the watercolor, I also marked out a few areas using pink and white oil pastel. This will preserve the bright whites and pinks in those areas. The technique I'm using today is going to be a very direct one with a very large emphasis on light and shadow. So, first I put down the area of the road being hit by light and then immediately moved on to create a large shadow shape, which I am working on right now. Quick pause for a botany lesson. Today's sketch is that of a lovely pink trumpet tree. This is the view from my apartment. Oh well, this was the view at the end of Jan. Those pink flowers have now fallen off. I made sure to get my references at noon so I could get those lovely straight shadows on the street. The color mix I'm using for this large connected shape is one of yellow ochre, burnt sienna, and ultramarine blue. Now, one can easily describe this mix as mud. However, in the right context and with the right amount of water and movement, this so-called mud can create magic. These are all fairly opaque, somewhat granulating pigments, and they will separate, giving that shape an interesting variety of hues and textures. Now to the shaded section of the flowers. Getting that pink correct is a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to exaggerate the flowers, make them look like massive clusters, and I'm also going to try and connect that shaded part to the big shadow shape that we've laid down earlier. Timing is crucial when working wet in wet into these big shapes. That big shadow shape is now damp but not dry. Perfect time to indicate a few dark windows there. Perhaps even add color to indicate the rickshaws on the street. This direct method works amazingly when you want to preserve the freshness in watercolors. I'm also looking to better define some of the surfaces there in that shadow region. Adding slits to the compound wall to show a vertical surface, adding marks to show the pavement. Later, I'll lift off some of the pigment on the top of that compound wall to show the horizontal surface as well. Next, I'll be looking to add the shadow area on the right hand side of my sketch. If possible, connect it to the shadowy areas already laid down. I set my sketchbook on a slight slope and I work from top to bottom of my page, allowing the pigments to flow downwards, and I have a small bead at the bottom which I can continue to work with. In the process, notice how I am negatively painting around all the bright white and pink flowers. The dark region there helps create further contrast and brings those flowers more to the viewer's attention, more to the foreground. With a lot of the big shapes now down on the paper, I am going to turn my attention to some of the smaller marks needed. I am lifting some pigment from the trunk of that tree to create the illusion of greater light hitting there. We are over the ugly stage now, and my sketch is slowly taking definition. To create even more definition, I am going to move to my Sailor Fude pen. I'm a huge fan of the playfulness that the variable line thickness of this Fude nib fountain pen lends to any sketch. If you're liking what you've seen so far and would like to enjoy a full length sketching tutorial by me, I have a suggestion for you. Over on Skillshare, I have a fairly lengthy and descriptive course on urban sketching. There is a link to this course in the description for this video. You can use it and access the course for free. Now, with many of those smaller marks in place, I remember that I have to add fresh spring green foliage to the sketch. Now, these foliage shapes will be medium sized and also fairly light in value, but still, I chose to wait till this point to add it. Why? Because I'm going to make use of a fairly opaque pigment in my palette, which I can add over these darker shapes. The pigment in question is cadmium yellow. Now, earlier on, I used to hate opaque pigments, but as I have gained experience as an artist, I've slowly come to appreciate their unique functions. We are almost at the finish line now. If I feel like adding further definition to those flower clusters, I can again pick up my oil pastel and make marks over the dark areas. My big shadow shape is of non-staining pigments, so I can also lift out some of it to indicate a lamp shade, and as I mentioned, the horizontal surface of the compound wall. And I'll also jump back to my cadmium to add further yellow to those rickshaws. So I hope you enjoyed that quick demo. If you did, please remember to do all the YouTube things like, subscribe, share it around. Really helps bring in more eyeballs to this channel. As always, I thank you for joining me and look forward to seeing you in the next one.